4:15 slots reserved for the Arizona University Sun Devils. They are the number 11 seed in the West Region. They're out of the Pacific 12 Conference. They will play number 6 Buffalo in Friday's second game, approximately 2:50. The men's basketball contact is Doug Tamaro. The head coach is Bobby Hurley. The student body up here is Remy Martin and Zylan Cheatham. We are ready for questions at any time. Start right there.
Jorge Rubino, Devils Digest. Question to either of you guys. Just talk about how crazy the last 24 hours have been. You know, emotional win against St. John's, landing here at 4 o'clock in the morning, and 12 hours after you land, you already got practice.
Remy, you first, please.
It's been very exciting. I mean, just to experience this my sophomore year as well. It's just been a great experience, man, winning and advancing, just the satisfaction of just winning and knowing that your season's still going. It's a great feeling, great accomplishment. And, you know, obviously that we're our eyes are on the prize, and we're definitely trying to continue to win, but we're also absorbing everything that comes with it.
I mean, to obviously accomplish a win like that, to celebrate it with your guys, but hours after that, get back on the plane and lock into the next task. I'd say it's pretty much been an emotional roller coaster, but you have to embrace your wins. You have to enjoy it, live in the moment, but at the same time, you got to stay focused on the task at hand.
To kind of dovetail off that, what was the most difficult part of that quick turnaround? I think it was like a 16 to 20 hour turnaround. And when did you guys get in? What was the most difficult part of this?
Zylan, you first this time.
I didn't actually get into my hotel bed until about, I want to say like 5 in the morning. But I say the most tough part about it was just leaving straight from the game. Your bags are already packed. You go straight to the airport and you're getting straight back on the road. But on the flip side of that, it's like our fans and our dancing and cheer team and our band, they did such a good job of keeping us in positive spirits, just keeping us happy about when we got to the airport. They're there, they're cheering for us. And it's stuff like that you just have to embrace and look at it as part of the process.
Really, this is for either of you guys. When you're scouting Buffalo and looking at Buffalo, what jumps out at them what do they do that can really pose challenges for you guys?
Remy, you first, please.
We haven't got to that yet, but we know that they're going to go out and play hard as they can. They're a great team. We know that their record speaks for itself. They're a winning team, so we know that they're going to come out and play hard, and it's going to be a fun game.
I'd say aside of the X and O's part of it, just considering they're considered a mid-major conference, and they're coming off of 12 straight wins and stuff like that. I've actually been a part of that mid-major conference that you want to be considered the top of the top. So we know they're going to come out extremely hungry. Now to get to the X and O's part, I mean, they're a really disciplined team. They don't make many mistakes. They capitalize off of mistakes, and we got to clean up some turnovers. And like I said, we know we're going to get their best shot, but we got to make sure we match their intensity.
Cheerson Susel, KPNX. This is for you, Remy. It seems like with this team on any given night, somebody different might step up and have a fantastic game. For you personally, kind of in and out of the game last night, does it make you, I don't know if comfort's the right word, maybe give you more confidence knowing that if you do have to sit down at this point with just your health condition, that your guys have it? Yeah,
I mean, our guys, we've been through so much adversity, on and off the court. We're so tight-knit that I know even when I'm not playing my best game, that somebody like, Lou, Rob, or Melo, anybody could step up. And that's the great thing about our team is that there's no individuals. We're all together. When one falls, the other one's there to pick them up. So that's the greatness of our team, and I'm just happy to be a part of the team and have guys like that are players. They pick me up when I'm not having my best game, and who knows, I might have a good game tomorrow.
Stay here.
Just going off that, I guess, for either one of you, can you talk about what Lou did last night, and I think really this morning he kind of got some more national recognition finally, not just people in Arizona recognizing it.
Silent, what do you think?
At this point, nothing he does really surprises me. I mean, I've seen the work that he put in. I mean, I remember the first workout I ever worked out with him, and he was just doing things that you don't really see freshmen do. And I've been around for, this is my 5th year, so it's just things you never really see freshmen do. So not that I was expecting him to have a game like that, but the fact that he did is just compliments to the work he put in, the confidence he has in himself, and the confidence Bobby gives us as players.
He's a beast.
Facts.
This is once again for both of you guys. Obviously, a big storyline with this game is Bobby going against his former assistant with Nate Oates. Has he talked about that at all, or do you see him, maybe a little extra emotional, anything like that?
Remy, you're first, please.
No, it's all about the team. This is about us, our future, and it's just all about the team. What we need to do to be successful. It's not about him. He's never been a me guy. So everything that he says or does is for all of us.
To kind of piggyback off of that, I mean, he's done a really good job in kind of making it our journey as opposed to his. That was his message. Just don't really get too far into the whole emotional impact that, this game could have on me or something like that. He was just like, I want you guys to stay focused. He's like, I've already did what I did in college, and I've made my journey. It's you guys' turn. So he's doing a really good job in trying to make it not about himself.
Anything else for the student athletes of Arizona State? All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Best of luck. Good luck. See you tomorrow. Thanks. Okay. As advertised, the head coach of Arizona State is here, Bobby Hurley. We're going to ask him to make a statement on his team about getting to Tulsa, how they got to Tulsa. Then we'll open up for questions. Bobby, please.
Yeah, it was just an electric night last night. You know, kind of doesn't feel like yesterday ended in some ways, considering all the media after and then the travel and getting in here at 4 this morning. But the alternative is far worse. So we're very excited to be here. The guys were able to get a lot of rest today, and today for us is just about recovery and trying to get fresh mentally and physically, and and that's what it's about today for us.
First question's on the left, then we go here.
Hey, Bobby, John Scott, Spectrum News, Buffalo. What was your reaction? I know you and Nate spoke Sunday, but what was your reaction knowing this is now a reality facing Nate and your former team?
Well, I mean, it was tense for us going in, that Sunday, leading into Selection Sunday, and just a lot of conversations, our administrators, my wife, my brother, and talking to my brother on the phone. He was like, I have a feeling that they're going to, Buffalo is in that 6 range, and I see you as an 11 seed, and I don't think Dan thought we'd be in the play-in game, but he thought that there could be a chance that this might happen. So, I gave it some thought then, but then as the show proceeded, I knew that what we had done this year and the wins that we had and our record in the league, and that we'd be in the field, and spots were limited at that moment. So I knew that something might be in the works there when I saw that.
Cheerson Susel, KPNX. Bobby, last night you mentioned that, maybe aside from your brother's games, you've watched more Buffalo games than any other team. How well do you feel like you know this team, and is it sort of an advantage just because, it's a team you keep your eye on?
I mean, I've watched, and again, it's not like I'm in the blind as far as not watching Buffalo, so it's helpful in that regard. But, when the ball goes up, it's, they have a lot of winners in their locker room. They're a team that's won 31 games, and they're a mid-major that doesn't play like it. They don't look like it. They have all the ingredients, of a top team. And so, we're going to have our hands full. It's going to be, we're going to have to, they're not going to back out of a game, man. You got to beat Buffalo. They're not just going to, give in to you at any point.
Bobby Timmering, CBS Phoenix. The tournament has a history of pairing coaches against their former assistants. They obviously seem to like that. Obviously, they feel fans like that. I get the sense, though, over time, coaches really don't care for that. Could you kind of just address why that's difficult for a coach to go up against his former team, or maybe more specifically, a former assistant? Why is that hard? Why don't coaches enjoy that so much?
Because I got such great memories, at Buffalo, my 2 years. I still vividly remember, the confetti falling in Cleveland for the first time there, and doing it with people, that I respect and like Nate Oates, and to have an opportunity to go to a tournament, and then it's the personal relationship. Nate and I, when we're on the road recruiting, we hope that we're in the same city so we could get together. We speak frequently, and we root for each other. So anytime you have to go against that team, it's not the greatest scenario. But then as a coach, you think about all the work you put in and how hard your players work July through the fall, and all these battles you're in during the season to even get yourself in a position to be in this tournament. And then once you're here, it's everything goes out the window, and you're just trying to compete like heck to advance and make your season more special. So that's where my thoughts are. My thoughts are only with like Remy Martin, Lou Dort, Zylan Cheatham, and the guys that I'm bringing to battle tomorrow.
In the back, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. Josh Reed with the CBS affiliate in Buffalo.
What's up, Josh?
When you hired Nate, he was a high school coach. What did you see in him when you hired him that you thought, this guy could do something someday?
I'm a talent evaluator. I could recognize talent, and Nate, it's immediate. His passion for basketball was something I was drawn to, and it's genuine. And when we were recruiting E.C. Matthews, and I was an assistant at Rhode Island, I got to go visit Nate and watch how he conducted his practices, how, he had a practice plan and it was organized. And, he's coaching tough kids from the inner city of Detroit, and you could visually see the respect that he got from all those players. So, I mean, I instantly knew that he was he was a really good coach. And me going into Buffalo, I had a couple of years of assistant coaching experience. I had a lifetime of basketball experience, but Nate also had 10 years as a high school coach. And my dad, being a high school coach for 45 years, it was something that I respected what he was doing, and I thought he deserved an opportunity, and he was hungry to do it. Man, he really recruited. He got after it. He developed relationships with kids we were recruiting. He was great tactically, always great ideas, and he was good on the floor. So, I couldn't have done any better than to hire Nate Oates.
Bobby, Rachel Lindsay from the Buffalo News. Yeah. When you left for Arizona State, did you recommend Nate, as your replacement? And if he had not been the replacement, would you have wanted him on your staff at Arizona State?
Well, yeah. It was, when I decided to take the Arizona State job, I told Nate that, I think that he should aggressively try and get the job, that he deserved the job, that he would do phenomenal, and to go after it confidently. I think the players that we had a really good core of talent in the locker room that was coming back, and so I think it made sense for Danny White to make that move. It was a great decision on his part to keep Nate. But I told Nate if you don't get it, that there's a spot open for you with me on the staff at Arizona State.
We're over here on the left. Number 2 is on the aisle. 3 is here. 4 is here. Go, please.
Bobby, Heather Prusak from the NBC station in Buffalo. Nate talks so much about how grateful he is that you gave him his shot at Division I coaching. What's it like to hear him have such gratitude for you still?
Well, I think we share, mutual respect and friendship, and, it's not easy to get your foot in the door in this business. I mean, I'm fortunate to have like a storied basketball playing career, which helped open doors, and, there are a lot of talented people out there that don't get the opportunity, and so we were able to recognize that, and Nate worked his butt off to really put himself in a position to want to be a college coach, assistant coach, and he's made the most of it.
Bobby, Doug Howler with The Athletic. Can you give us an idea of just what the plane ride was like on the way back? Were the assistants looking at film, breaking down just how that worked? Yeah, I mean, everyone was just had their own computer and were watching whatever Buffalo games they chose to watch. I didn't mandate anyone to watch a particular game. I had my set of games I was watching. Otherwise, the plane was quiet. We expended a lot of energy. The guys were, I believe, sleeping or had their headphones on, just listening to music.
Adam Jardy with the Columbus Dispatch. I know he's obviously had the back injury, but what is Mickey Mitchell's status with the team, both now and going forward?
Yeah, Mickey was at our house on Sunday for the selection show party, and he's still a part of what we're doing. It's he's had some setbacks with it, and we're trying to get him to a point where he's 100%, and he's just had trouble, getting there this year. He's had a lot of wear and tear, over the years, both playing basketball and football, and we're hopeful we get Mickey to 100% healthy, and then when we get there, then we could focus on basketball.
We have about 5 minutes to go. We're going to go second row, back row, first row. Go.
Hoder Rubino, Devils Digest. Bobby, when you look at the game against St. John's and the high number of turnovers, was it really just a matter of Remy Martin not being 100% and not only playing 23 minutes, or are there some other underlying factors?
Yeah, I think when you generate that type of lead, sometimes you let your guard down some, and we got a little careless with the basketball, and you also have a team that's desperate, playing for their season, and they have some quick twitch athletes. St. John's plays 5 guys that are around 6'5" that can move around and shoot passing lanes, and they did a great job of turning people over before us, but we have to do better at that. Remy is usually a one-man press break. He's so fast and good with the ball, and it just wasn't quite up for that challenge yesterday. Hopefully, a little more time to get healthy, that he'll be better tomorrow night.
Bobby, Nate fondly recalls some pickup games that you guys would have when you were at UB, and he said that it was really competitive. What do you recall about some of those times?
Yeah, and where my game is at right now, I'd almost like to forget, because I'd like to remember back to when I was actually good. But we did play at 6 a.m. hoops, and I remember it. And I think there was a D2 player that was playing with us, and he knew my rep, and I was like, I don't know, 39. It was 43 or 44, and he's trying to go at me like I was 24. So. Kind of pushed me really, and my competitive juices kicked in, and I stole the ball at half court, and he chased me down. Most times in pickup, you just let the guy go and lay it in, so I had to go to find another gear, and I ended up pulling my hamstring. So that was like one of the last times I really competitively tried to play basketball was in Buffalo.
Right down here, the first row.
And Nate said that when he was building the program at UB and really making it his own, how did he lean on you and your brother, when he was, I guess, constructing his own vision for the program?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as much as the foundation was there from what we did for 2 years. There were obstacles. He had a couple of key guys leave the program, and he had to go in another direction. I think he hired a very good staff too, and his assistants have done a good job of getting players. And then Nate went out of